Here's what I did in 1 week on Vancouver Island with 3 nights and 4 days on the Juan de Fuca Trail. I flew into Seattle from Denver where Stacy picked me up at the airport. We drove to the Black Ball Ferry in Port Angeles, which took about 2 hours. We parked at the ferry and were allowed to leave, so we walked to Kokopelli Grill for lunch. This place had amazing ocean views, delicious house-made sangrias, and great seafood. We actually ate here when we returned from Victoria. After an hour and a half on the ferry, we breezed through customs and our friend met us at the dock. My first stop was Anían in Victoria, which I should have taken a video of. I bought so many recycled wool products. After a quick walk through Fan Pan Alley in Chinatown, we settled into Phillips Brewery, where I had a sour flight that hit the spot. Then it was home to prep for the trail. We stopped at the Cold Shoulder Cafe in Jordan River for breakfast. I loved the food, the vibe, and the local artist with a roadside stand. We decided to start at Parkinson Creek and hike to the China Beach trailhead. We camped at Sombrio, Chin, and Bear beaches along the way. 3 nights and 4 days of hiking. We were surprised at the infrastructure between Parkinson and Sombrio. This portion of the trail was in more disrepair than others. I had a bad slip on a wet log in the first mile and fell into a small ravine. I was lucky I didn't get hurt, and though I was careful before, I was extremely careful after. The forest floor was really fun to navigate with huge roots and steps. The ocean views were fabulous, and we saw black bear scat the entire way. In some spots, it was very, very fresh. We called this trail the Sparkle Trail. From the water to the green forest to the wet beaches, everything sparkled. We reached Sombrio around high tide. We somehow missed the west-west Sombrio camp, so we sat on the beach for a few hours to drink wine, watch the surfers in the distance, and watch the sunset. Eventually, we adjusted our clothes and waded around this point. I was barefoot and dodging crabs and sea urchins with my headlamp on. The wet seafloor was so challenging to navigate. We made it to West Sombrio and set up camp. The next morning, we made breakfast, filtered water, watched some birds, and hit the trail for Sombrio Point. This was our favorite segment. I hope this waterfall is a memory I'll hold on to decades from now. It reminded me of Big Sur, but even better. Considering the infrastructure on the first day, and my fall, we were pretty terrified to see this sign. This next section of trail was indescribable in the best way. We absolutely loved it. My Apple Watch 8 said the hike from West Sombrio to Chin Beach was much further than the map indicated. We were moving pretty slow. We stopped for lunch to take pictures and to forest bathe. We eventually wandered onto Chin Beach, where I enjoyed this swing. I didn't take many videos or pics on day 3, but the forest was so cool. We enjoyed the best chai of the trip at Bear Beach. I spent a lot of time playing on this rope, walking the beach and checking out tide pools, and checking out this cool spot called Rock on a Pillar. In the morning, I made my last coffee of the trail. Shout out to Death Wish Coffee. I was sad to see our last sunrise. We left Bear Beach for Mystic Beach, taking the time to enjoy the geology and forest all around us. This is such a unique and stunning area. I absolutely love this coast. At Mystic Beach, I ate a huge lunch and then hiked the last 2 kilometers out. The next day, I went whale watching with the smallest operation I could find from Victoria Harbor. We took out a Zodiac. The day was bright and the water was calm. Our tour operator, Mick, was very ethical. We stayed an appropriate distance away, cut the engines long before the sea life approached us, and had many quiet moments on the water. Our boat was like any other marine traffic, which I appreciated. I'm a wildlife biologist and often worry about booking ethical tours. I can't recommend Mick at Orcas Spirit enough. We saw many humpback whales, including a calf, many transient orcas, California and Stellar sea lions, a sea otter, and turkey vultures staging for migration. I really enjoyed this tour. I loved floating around the sea lions, engine cut, and hanging out with this little guy. After, I had my first ever Thai massage at Massage by Pot in Chinatown. I highly recommend one. We met friends for drinks and apps at Swanns, followed by a delicious dinner at Ghost Ramen. We ended at Clive's for a swanky cocktail, then rode e-bikes home. On morning 6, we parked at the ferry for Port Angeles. Unbeknownst to us, it was Crab Fest. Also unbeknownst to us, once you clear customs, you can't leave the parking lot. We didn't get breakfast and had a sad goodbye with our friend through the gate. Overall, this trip was amazing. Check out the description for our full itinerary.